What's one thing your partner doesn't know?
That her mum called for her the moment before she died. When her mum was dying, she was in the room with her for almost 24 hours straight and left for 30 seconds, and I was there, and in those 30 seconds her mother died, but not before calling for my wife. I don't know if it will haunt her or not, but I just don't think it's something she needs to know.
She suffers from depression, and when she hits a slump she feels like laying in bed and doing nothing, even though 99.9% of the time just getting out of bed and doing something, anything will make a dramatic difference in her day. So usually when she hits a slump I'll manufacture some fake emergency that only she can help me solve, like, "Hey babe, I think one of the cats has a scratch on his face but he won't hold still for me to look." Of course, the cat is fine, but I just tricked her into getting out of bed and doing something, and that's always the hardest part. Edit. Didn't expect this to blow up, reading all the replies and crying happy tears, happy crying face. Thanks Reddit strangers.
That I have a folder of photos on my computer called Places I Have Found My Wife's Shoes that is legitimately filled with thousands of pictures of my wife's shoes that are neither in the closet or shoe rack. I started it years ago as a joke and it has gotten out of hand.
Nothing. She reads my Reddit comments all the time. Don't you?
Ya got me there. Edit. This was a joke, him a dude.
I'm happy with how wholesome this thread turned out. I thought it was gonna be filled with some dark-ass secrets.
When we were dating she tickled my feet and I acted as if I wasn't ticklish. 13 years later she will tickle them and be amazed I am not ticklish, every time it tickles. I have to hide this forever.
Yes, I am trapped within this hell also.
My wife is the biggest softie for animals, and we have birds that nest right in a column on our porch. One day a baby bird fell out and she saw. Well, it ended up dying, but I buried it and told her that I saw the mama bird come down and get it. It made her day so much better that I haven't had the heart to tell her it died and probably never will. I also distract her whenever I see roadkill coming up, or tell her it was just a plastic bag or something.
That I know our daughter's Reddit account and that I check in on her regularly. I feel deep, profound guilt about following her, because while I respect her privacy I know that she has significant physical and emotional issues. She's at college out of state, and battles with clinical depression and an unusual and incurable chronic illness, and she really tries not to let on to the world when she's going through a rough patch. She'll make a comment or post something that lets me know that she's feeling crushed or broken, and I'll coincidentally reach out to her the next day and give her an opening to talk about anything that's bothering her. Most of the time it works and she'll vent for a while and feel a little better. Some of the time we just trade pictures of cats. Either way, she knows that she's loved and that someone is thinking of her. If I told my wife about this, she'd blow the whole thing up, and like a bull in a china shop she'd make it pretty clear that she knew our daughter's account and immediately interject herself into our daughter's life so she could fix everything. I understand that, because my wife is brilliant and protective and only sees the world in black and white. But I also understand that my daughter has to fix her own life, and that she's doing it every day, but that it doesn't hurt to have someone text her out of the blue and tell her a dad joke and try and make her laugh while she's doing it. I wrestle with the idea that I'm simultaneously a bad parent and a bad husband because of this. I've been married for almost 30 years, and this is the only thing I've ever kept from my wife. I hate it, but it's a hole I dug for myself, so I have to sit in it alone.
How to shut a drawer at less than 126 miles per hour.
If the foundation doesn't collapse, then the drawer isn't shut.
Whenever we get fast food to go, she enjoys eating the extra fries which have fallen out of their carriage and into the bag. I'm not really sure why she enjoys them so much, but whenever there aren't any, I drop a few down when grabbing my fries secretly and then give her the bag. It's been 8 years, haha. I always grab my fries last and she's never noticed. Holy cow. After all of these comments, I'm definitely getting a burger and fries tonight.
Bag fries are the best.
When we watch movies together we always snack. One of our favorites to munch on during the movie are the sour punch bites. She takes all the blue ones because I don't like them and they are her favorite. Always says how lucky she is that worked out like that. The blue ones are also my favorite, but she can have them.
Just an FYI, they make bags with only blue ones inside. Just order or get those by accident and deal with it, then at the end decide you like blue too. Off scot-free and can get all blue bags, all the time. Found a link for a giant bag, but there are smaller versions. Link. Edit. Link to the correct candy. I think. Link.
Lord's work.
He doesn't know just how excited I get when he gets home. I just love being around him. The dogs can hear the garage door open better than I can, so I use them as a sort of notification that he's here. But he also doesn't know how to shut the effing kitchen cabinets. The number of times I've almost brained myself because I stood up and the corner of a door was right above my head is absurd.
I love this comment, such a wholesome reaction with such a funny complaint.
Very early in the relationship, after the second date, his monitor broke right on Sunday. I knew he was an avid gamer, so I quickly bought a 27 inches monitor on eBay and told him I had that laying around. While he was on the way to me, I power walked through half the town to get it and quickly changed clothes because it was drizzling. He had low income and no money, and I didn't want him to feel like he's in my debt. We're over 2 years together now.
Hey, just wanted to say this is beautiful and you have a very lucky partner.
Our cat has a health insurance policy. Edit. Cat tax, link.
Is it because your cat also likes lasagna?
That I'm proposing this Saturday. Y'all better not tell. Edit. Thank you all for your wishes. I will keep everyone posted.
I tell my wife everything, I overshare, I'm an open book. She's got an intense phobia of bed bugs. Her best friend called me to help identify and help clean after finding some bed bugs. I'm probably never going to tell her.
If he's out of town, I go completely feral for the first 1 or 2 days. Candy for breakfast, falling asleep in the couch, beer with dinner on a weekday, clothes on the floor, recycling bag overflowing. Then I shape up. When he comes back, everything's back to normal. But man, does it feel good to be a sloppy pig sometimes.
Yup. First I clean the house really well, then I pick it up with my piggy little mess, then I clean it again before he comes home. In the meantime I'm binging all of the trash TV, hair and face masks, crackers and cheese for dinner, boxes of wine, takeout, WD inside, zero pants, The Bachelorette works. He's not even controlling, at all, or particularly clean, it's just fun. Reminds me of when my parents would leave for a weekend when I was a teenager.
That I don't need to read aloud. My girlfriend struggles with insomnia, but for some reason when I talk to her late at night she passes out almost immediately. So whenever I read a book I read out loud softly under the guise that it helps me focus. It works every time, smiley face. Edit. Holy poo, thanks for all the awards. I was definitely not expecting this to blow up. Update, she found the post after digging for it, she thought it was super sweet.
I get this. I have really bad insomnia. Really bad. And when my GF convinces me to lay down with her, she will force me to be the small spoon. Boom. I'm out. She absolutely hates cuddling for long periods cause she gets too hot. Even in the winter, in Alaska, with a window open. But she does it for me. Puts me in a sweaty coma, and I sleep for 8 hours.
Differential equations.
Doesn't matter as long as you're integrated with her or him.
Nice try, Rebecca.
2 B's and 1 C. Interesting.
Which materials go in the yellow and blue recycling bins?
He does not know that he was my teenage crush since I was 12 and I wrote so many beautiful poems on him. We have been married for 6 years and have a child together. I don't know if I will ever have the courage to tell him that I have always loved him.
Boyfriend has financial struggles. Not because of anything he's ever done. His mother is mentally unwell and his father can't work for various reasons. He's been the sole provider for his family since he was a teen and has to balance his job on top of being the top 5% in his university cohort to maintain 2 scholarships. He had to put his mom in a psychiatric hospital by himself when he was 19. He had no support from relatives except his grandma, who doesn't have an income herself but tries her best. He currently is raising his younger brother and paying rent for the both of them. He acts strong about it, but he gets financial panics very, very often. In comparison, my family isn't rich, but we're definitely lucky enough to be comfortable. My parents pay my tuition, but I still work part-time, teaching, because I don't get any pocket money and I also enjoy it. I'm a very frugal person though, so a lot of it just gets saved up. So, sometimes I secretly transfer some money into his account. I pretend to borrow his phone and delete the SMS notification off of it. He's never noticed. It's not a lot of money, but I like to think it helps him get a little bit of extra something. Edit asterisk. Some people are questioning the validity of this because, if he's poor, wouldn't he check his account more often? Which I understand. But I know him and you don't. He tutors biology and chemistry for the IB diploma. He works both freelance and with an agency. He currently has easily more than 20 students. Or even more, I think. Most tutoring jobs here pay by the session, except big agencies. Also, a lot of parents prefer to pay differently. Most choose to pay after every lesson, but some pay monthly in advance or at the end of every month. So it's not like most jobs where you definitely get a set amount of money by date XYZ. If you have, for example, $19,373, not USD, much smaller currency, and he's going to remember that he has around $19,000. Obviously it's sus if I suddenly top up to $20,000, so I do it in small increments. On top of that, because of his job nature, he frequently gets paid payments of $230–500, again, not USD, several times on certain days. Also, the payment platform we both use senses names with asterisks. It's not like he checks the platform anyways, because it's just easier to check the SMS, which I can delete. And yes, I also hide physical cash in his backpack.
Real kindness needs no acknowledgement. Well done for deleting evidence. Most people in those positions hate being a burden, and your kind act is perfect.
How to clean the oatmeal dish. Always leaves visible chunks and then hangs it up like it's clean. She has a PhD in chemistry.
I totally feel this. My so does this all the time.
How to relax. She's always wound up about something and it's hard for her to let herself do nothing.
Honestly, I'm the same way. I always feel anxiety pressing me down.
How highly I think of her. She is brilliant and capable, but has the most insane and deeply rooted case of imposter syndrome I've ever seen. Edit, because I guess I didn't make it clear that I definitely tell her that she is amazing all the time. I promise, lol.
He knows because I tell him a lot, but I don't think he fully understands how much I love and rely on him. I don't think he could know without being in my head, but I have pretty acute anxiety. I know enough about my anxiety to know when I'm freaking out over nothing, so I try to keep it mostly contained to my own brain and keep the external freakouts to a minimum. Just his presence keeps me grounded and calm. He is my best friend, and I don't know if I could have accomplished most of what I have without him.
I still see my former wife dying in hospital every day.
Like, literally? Or more of a haunting image in your mind?
I was there when she died of cancer in 2018, and I see the scene in my mind every day at least once.
That her mental illness is killing me. I just wish she could be free of it, for both our sakes. I hate seeing her struggle so much.
This is me. Please get help. I'm burnt out from being her caregiver, and it's not her fault. But it's killing me. I'm more depressed than I've ever been before. Chain smoking joints like they're cigarettes, and getting out of bed is a struggle. I'm in therapy and she's in therapy, but it doesn't seem like enough. I still have to watch her suffer and still have to be there for her. But you can get help for yourself too. It's essential you do if you want to have a chance together. Get therapy for yourself and be honest.
I pretend to be asleep when he wakes up because I love how sweetly he wakes me up, smiley face.
This is really effing adorable. I smiled. Equals. Meanwhile, when I try to wake my wife, she has a mini heart attack.
That when I tell her I don't want her to make cookies cause we are being healthy, that I really want her to make cookies.
My wife is the worst for this. I do the shopping and she always tells me not to get any sweet snacks because she is on a diet. Then a couple of days later she will be asking me where the sweet snacks are.
I try to give her the better half of life. If there are 2 pieces of pizza left and 1 piece is burnt, I'll take the burnt one. She gets the good piece. If I'm going to shower and there's 1 normal towel left, I will use a hand rag or something to dry off. She gets the towel. If there's that unwanted end of the bread loaf, I'll make myself a sandwich using that sad end piece. I'll then make her sandwich with the good pieces. I do this all the time for the smallest things. She never knows. I try to make her life better in those small ways.
My husband and I are like this with each other. We end up arguing over who gets the better thing, like the goofy gophers.
that I knew he was planning to propose to me, but I still acted surprised. Married 14 years now, still haven't told him. He is so proud of the idea that he managed to surprise me.
My Bill actually had to kneel twice, because he proposed in a wine cellar, and the first time she thought he was looking at some bottles, so just went away.
I rub her back when she's asleep because she makes happy noises and I like to think it makes her have better dreams. I do also do this to the dog though.
Y'all need another dog? I can bark.
My father-in-law got a bloody nose at our wedding reception. Because he thought it would be okay to grind his crotch on and whisper, "I've been dreaming of effing you all night," to my mom on the dance floor. My mother-in-law saw the whole thing with many others, hence the bloody nose. I'm fairly certain my wife does not know. Edit. My mother-in-law punched him. I'm just happy I can still form sentences about this. Apologies for the word salad.
Holy poo, what a gross pass.
How to clean up as she goes along while cooking. When she's done cooking, the kitchen is a freaking mess.
I bet she only knows pi to like 10 digits.
I know all of the digits in pi. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
How to turn a light off when she leaves a room.
Oh poo, I came here to post the same thing. That I know their Reddit account.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
How to mate with knight and bishop. What AF in noob. Edit. I'm gonna dump my beginner's chess advice here due to many requests. It's not much effort to get over the initial hump. If you're not familiar with basic tactics, do the training modules on Lichess. Link. The Building Habits series on the Chess Bra Extra YouTube channel will teach everything to get you a good handle on the game, ideas for most any position. Taught by a grandmaster, very long and illustrates everything he advises as he climbs the rating ladder. Lichess Puzzle Streak, Storm, they're relatively straightforward and great to cement tactical pattern recognition. Practice them a lot. Do a few hours of mate in one puzzles until they're too easy to be valuable. Play 15 minutes with increment, or longer. Learn to use the Lichess analysis board. Chess subs are active.
Wouldn't date someone who can't do that.
She insists it almost never comes up, so it's not worth memorizing, and claims she'll figure it out if it ever does. But she's a beast with pawn endgames and knows like 100 lines of the Rai Lopez. In her defense, I have never once needed to mate with knight and bishop in thousands of games.
Where she wants to eat.
I put no salt into his salt shaker he keeps on his table near his video games. He is notorious for oversalting his food and has high blood pressure. I've been doing this for almost 4 years now. He can't tell the difference.
He uses so much salt that he keeps a shaker in extra locations.
Just how often I check her out. She brags to her friends that I'll check her out 10 times a day. Dearest voluptuous woman, that's how many times I make sure you catch me. I am stealing glances the entire time we share any space.
Greater than dearest voluptuous woman. The cutest way to address a woman, indeed.
I plan to propose next week, smiley face.
Hope your partner isn't that person saying he know their partner's Reddit account.
When we worked together, someone kept stealing food from my husband's lunchbox. He started deliberately packing more food. He assumed the person was stealing food because they were hungry and couldn't afford it. I found out who did it. She hated him and was doing it to try to piss him off. I told her if she did it again I would make a big stink of it, but never told him because I didn't want to shatter his illusion that he was doing a nice thing for someone who really needed it. Update, I think I need to fess up tonight and let him know so many people who aren't me think he's a treasure. I may not fit in the house with how big his head is going to get after that though.
She hated him so stole from his lunchbox? What is this preschool? That I have severe abandonment issues and I feel like he will leave me even if things are good.
How good she looks. She's in her early 40s and has had 2 children and gained the quarantine 15. She is so upset with her appearance, but she looks effing amazing. I tell her daily how attractive she is. I can't take my eyes off her. She doesn't believe me when I tell her she's perfect.
My wife thinks I always fall asleep next to her when we cuddle at night. We go to bed at different times, but I jump in for a few minutes to snuggle before she zonks out. I just fake it. But it makes her super happy, so every time I pretend to drift off and she has to wake me and it makes her laugh every time. This has been going on for 9 years. She'll never know. Edit. Wheel this blew up. Thanks for the awards, folks.
I used to do this with a girl I was dating. She had insomnia, but said the feeling of having someone else fall asleep around her really helped her to sleep. So I would always lay with her, force a yawn, then pretend to slowly drift off, then wait like 10 minutes, then sneakily check if she was still awake. If she wasn't, I'd get up, but if she was still awake, then it meant I could pretend to wake up, ask how long I'd been asleep, and then comfort her. I really loved doing that. It made me feel so useful. Edit. Thank you for the awards, guys. I know it's not healthy to base success on how many likes etc. you get online, but I feel really good having received all these upvotes. XX.
That's how this started. Wife has always had trouble sleeping, and when her brother got cancer, he's okay. She really had a hard time. So I'd jump in bed to make her feel less stressed. First time I legit started snoring in her ear and she just busted up laughing, first time in months. So I kept doing it, both to help her sleep or to make her laugh. Just kinda became a thing. Smile.
Kung Fu. I don't know it either, but I'm certain she doesn't know it.
I have a substantial amount of cash saved and hidden in my jewelry box.
If your place is ever broken into, jewelry boxes are always a target for robbery. I'd find another hiding spot. But I think you're wise to have a stash. Just wouldn't want you to lose it.
You make a very good point. I'll find a new spot.
Shusha's a lil cutie.
How to play D&D, but we're fixing that this weekend.
How many cups of water per cup of rice? I swear I've been asked that question at least 1k times over the last 15 years. Edit. MFs, I know the water to rice ratio. I don't need guidance lol. Thank you for your devotion to the cause though. I also have written it on the container and put cheat sheets in various places. It eventually gets washed off or falls down and we are back at the beginning. Edit. Not buying a rice cooker. Last thing I need is another single-use device to store when a pot works just as well, and I refuse to back down on her eventually remembering the effing ratio. Edit. Everyone keeps suggesting using finger method. I do that and the question changes from, how much water, to, which knuckle did you say? Come on now LMAO.
I always make sure he has the best softest towel for him to dry himself after a shower. I make sure he gets the big cup so he doesn't have to get up to refill. I lie to him how much his medicine costs because I don't want him to stress. It takes me a month to pay it off. We buy a 3-month supply. I buy the best meat and chicken so his stomach doesn't have problems and don't tell him about the price. So he just eats happily and with no stress. I pat every one of his shirts, when folding laundry, with my hand so my loving energy goes in it to protect him and for him to hopefully not have stomachache that day. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards. I really appreciate them. Thank you. He and thank you for all the sweet comments. Lol, and yes I have vag. Lol. Someone thought my husband and I were a same-sex couple, penis relationship. Nothing bad with that, just that the way they asked made me laugh. Wanted to also answer here. Hopefully, makes you guys laugh too.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.